Hey guys, well, I thought I'd just start the next little video. I've got my wheel back. I was going to have it powder coated, but it's cost way too much to get it right, and powder coat it and clear it was going to be $2 1/4, and which, you know, that's still a fair price, but got a lot of other parts to do. So anyway, rigged up my little box here, garbage bag. And what I've done so far is, I should have showed you prior, but this had a lot of scratches and corrosion. So I went over it first with my little sanding disc that's on the right-hand drive, little angle die grinder, very smooth little sanding disc. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do all the rest by hand. And I started on this side, and I've got my little setup here so I don't have to be out in the smoke. We got bad forest fires going on like we do every summer, and it's 100 degrees outside plus smoke. We're coughing. So yeah, if you take a look here in the rim, my Liza's filming. Say hi, Liza.
Hello.
Anyway, so this it has some scratches and things that I'm not going to get totally out. This rim is pretty thin. But I'm just going to use 400, 600, and 1000 grit. I'm going to wet sand it right in here. I don't make a mess. It's all in the, and I'll have to go over all the spokes by hand and all these spots that I can't get with my tool. And it's just labor intensive, so I will hand sand the whole thing. I'll wet sand it, and then I'll come back with my little buffing wheel and just do it all that way. So anyway, I'll show you the end result, or maybe when I'm buffing it. The mess. I ripped my fingernail off. That's always good. Anyway, so I've got this all wet sanded. Now it has some splatter on it. The center spider, I think I'm not going to polish. I'm just going to clean it super good. I've wet sanded it nice, but I'm going to try to get the rim looking good. There's some little gouges here and there that I can't get out completely. Then you go to this side. I did it by hand. Now I'm going to use my air tool with about a 3.5-inch buffing wheel. And what a mess, but that's how you do it. Got to do it. Slowly but surely. Thank goodness I wear glasses. Better have a good air compressor, at least a 5 horse or maybe 8. Keep up with it. Never let the arbor get against it. You'll be sorry. Okay, let me wipe that all off by hand with about 5 rags, and let's see what it looks like. I'll be right back. So, for a race bike, this is not a show bike. After all, it's Ratzuki. This finish here is going to be plenty good. So it'll take a few more times, and there's still going to be some little gouges in it here and there because it's an old rim. Mainly I want it to look consistent and kind of a buff, like at least like this. Not a mere finish. I don't have the tools, I don't have the patience, but that right there on the whole hub here will look good. So let me work on it, and I'll show you when I get it all wiped down. So I got the one side pretty much done. Oh, the life of a polisher. No thanks. Anyway, by the way, I'm using Blue Magic. because I buy it in the big tubs for our mufflers. Using quite a bit, by the way. But yeah, I did I did it by hand first. I went and did what did I do? I used 400 grit, 220 in a lot of spots that had some deep scratches, then 400, then 600, then 1000. And I wet sanded the whole wheel and the spider. And now I use the little guy here on my air tool, and then went to this, it's about 3.5 inch buffer. This kind of gets it more uniform. And trust me, I'm not a professional polisher, but I use what I have. Done a lot of this stuff in the past. It's probably not the most efficient way, so if you're a polisher, you can tell me I'm a dummy, whatever, but it's working fine. So, yeah, just plain old elbow grease and a big mess. So that's how black it is. Boy, that's the aluminum right in with the polish. So, let me get it all wiped down, and then I'll be back. Well, here it is, guys. I thought I was going to spend a couple days. This is pretty much, I probably spent about 6 hours, maybe 6.5 hours. So I'm going to leave this machine looking here. I'll never get in there to really polish that perfectly. That's kind of how they were anyway, off the end mill. But the rim turned out pretty good. It could be better, but it's still decent. I got all brand new quarter 20. Grade 8 bolts on each side. There's 18 per side on this wheel, and brand new stainless AN washers. Got a new stem. I had to drill it out because it's got a little step on it. That's in here. And here's the other side. It looks very nice. So there. Now I put the $225 to other parts. And my polished parts just showed up. So I'll open those up and lay them out and show you. I'm not going to do that right this second because I'm tired. But I think that's really Sano. Saved me a lot of money. It looks beautiful. Talk to you soon. Well, God, this bike never was that shiny. That's my good friend Robert Bell that's been polishing my muffler parts and exhaust tips and mid pipes and headers for about the last 12-13 years. He took care of me. So these three parts were a little too dangerous with those giant buffers, and he can't get down in these reliefs, so I'll just do these by hand. This one here would be like what the ninja throw, kill you. So I'm going to do those the best I can, these three. But God, that hub's gorgeous. God, Ratzuki's going to be a little too good. Anyway, so there's that. I showed you the wheel already. Going tomorrow to pick up the gold zinc rotors and other parts. And then we'll get the rear wheel assembled. And yeah, these are the little chain adjuster blocks on the back of the swing arm. Beautiful. So that's it for now. Okay guys, I just wanted to show you I picked up my gold zinc plated parts from the Apex plating yesterday up by Reno. And so here's the front rotor and the rear rotor. Various spacers, hardware, and the offset countershaft sprocket that goes into the support plate on the engine. So anyway, I'm going to wrap this video up. I did get my tire mounted back on the rear wheel, and I just wanted to kind of go over this one last time. It looks nice. And a little tip, even though this is a big wheel, 15-inch with a car tire, Basically, if you have a bike that sits around in the winter time or for several months at a time, little trick that drag racers do, been doing this for years, is wrap your tires with plastic cellophane and saran wrap, and that will keep the oxygen and humidity and temperature and air from getting in the rubber, and it will keep your tires in much better condition as far as traction and not hardening up on you. Well, I got the front wheel all assembled, and it is a very slow process with little spiral locks, wave washers under the buttons to let the... This is a full floating rotor, that's what I want with the single rotor, and it will completely float, see? So that that basically lets it float, you know, in the center of the pads. For one brake, it will stop better, and it's also less rolling resistance. Even with regular bearings, the bearings in this wheel are really good. They're not ceramic, but the rear wheel too, but I'll show you, see? And that little clunking is just because it's kind of touching on the pad. And you know, there's no fluid in it yet, but even with the pads in it and pumped up, it will self-center. And anyway, turned out really clean. I did a wrinkle black on the fork legs. I had them all apart and went through them, and then I kind of did a guesstimate on the oil level today. And I got the beautiful Kosman triples, lower and upper, all done. I'll repack the tapered bearings that are in there. And it's looking really sano. Can't do any of the handlebar mounting yet. There's a machine plate that comes off here in the bars. You know, they mount under that, actually. And that's all at the powder coaters, but turned out gorgeous. Happy with it. Got the damper kind of set up. It had air things that I never used on here, so I put some stainless 1/8" plugs in there. But yeah, really nice. Okay, well, I will see you later, and I want to thank you for watching, and I'm hoping you're enjoying this build. And I will get another video when I get the rear wheel and all the powder coated stuff and start the chassis assembly. More of it. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Thumbs up, hit the bell, comment below. Take care.